Ladies and gentlemen, let me take you on a journey today, a journey that is not only a physical one but a mental and emotional one as well, a journey that many of us know too well. It's the journey of procrastination. I'm talking about that feeling of knowing you have something important to do, but somehow you keep putting it off. That nagging voice in the back of your head telling you there's always tomorrow, that you'll get to it eventually. But eventually never comes, does it? If you struggle with procrastination, if you find yourself consistently putting things off, I want to help you break free from the chains that hold you back. We live in a world that thrives on instant gratification, where the temptation to delay tasks for the sake of short-term pleasures is constant. Yet, the problem with this pattern is that the more we procrastinate, the more we lose control over our future. Every moment we spend delaying, we rob ourselves of the progress we could have made, the success we could have achieved, and the freedom we could have experienced. But here's the good news: you don't have to stay trapped in the cycle of procrastination. There is a way out, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Let's start by understanding what procrastination is and why we do it. At its core, procrastination is a coping mechanism. It's not about laziness or lack of discipline. It's often driven by fear, perfectionism, or even a lack of clarity. When we put something off, we are avoiding a difficult emotion. Maybe it's the fear of failure or the fear of success. Perhaps it's the pressure of needing everything to be perfect. But what if I told you that perfectionism is one of the biggest enemies of progress? What if I told you that waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions is actually what's keeping you stuck? So, the first thing you need to do if you struggle with procrastination is to embrace imperfection. You'll never have everything figured out before you start, and that's okay. In fact, that's how progress works. Think about it: when a baby learns to walk, it doesn't wait for the perfect conditions or the perfect amount of strength. It stumbles, it falls, it gets back up, and it keeps going. If you want to stop procrastinating, you have to stop waiting for things to be perfect. Take the first step, even if you don't have everything in place. Next, you need to redefine how you view time. Many of us procrastinate because we think we have all the time in the world. But time, my friends, is not something you can just get back. Every minute you waste is a minute that's gone forever. Think about that for a second. Time is the one resource that, once spent, is gone. When you put things off, you're not just delaying a task. You're losing time that you can never get back. To stop procrastinating, you need to start valuing your time like you would your most valuable possession. The way you treat time determines how much time you'll have in the future. If you treat time with respect and urgency, you'll find that procrastination loses its power over you. So how do we do this? How do we stop procrastinating and make the most of our time? I'm glad you asked. The first thing you need to do is set clear and specific goals. You can't expect to overcome procrastination if you don't know where you're going. A vague goal is a weak goal. If your goal is simply, I want to get better at my job, or I want to lose weight, you're setting yourself up for failure. Instead, get specific. Make your goal measurable. I want to increase my sales by 20% in the next quarter. I want to lose 10 pounds by the end of the month. When you have a clear target, your mind has a purpose to focus on. It gives you something concrete to work toward, and it eliminates the ambiguity that leads to procrastination. But setting a goal is only part of the equation. Once you have that goal, break it down into small, manageable tasks. This is where most people get tripped up. The reason we procrastinate is often because the task at hand feels overwhelming. We look at the big picture and think, I can't do this. It's too much. But when you break that big goal into smaller tasks, it becomes much more manageable. For example, if your goal is to write a book, don't sit there and stare at the blank page thinking you need to write 300 pages. Start by writing 1 page a day. Break it down into chapters, sections, or even smaller paragraphs. By focusing on smaller tasks, you trick your brain into thinking the goal is easier to achieve. The key here is consistency. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about showing up every day, doing a little bit, and steadily making progress. But what happens when you sit down to do that task, and your mind starts to wander? What happens when the urge to check your phone, watch TV, or scroll through social media takes over? This is where self-discipline comes into play. And self-discipline doesn't mean denying yourself all the things you enjoy. It means prioritizing what's most important in the moment. If you find yourself distracted, ask yourself, what is the cost of procrastination? What will happen if I don't do this task today? Often, the consequences of procrastination are far worse than the temporary discomfort of doing the work. By reminding yourself of the cost, you'll be more motivated to stay focused. Another powerful tool in overcoming procrastination is accountability. Let's be real. When we have someone watching over us, we tend to perform better. It's human nature, so find someone who will hold you accountable for your actions. This could be a friend, a mentor, or even a coach. Tell them your goals, and let them check in with you regularly to see how you're progressing. When you know someone is counting on you, it gives you an extra push to stay on track. But here's something even more powerful. Hold yourself accountable. We often blame external circumstances for our procrastination, but the truth is we're the ones in control. When you make a promise to yourself, you have to honor it. Your word should mean something not just to others, but to yourself. The more you honor your commitments, the more you strengthen your self-discipline muscle, and the less you'll procrastinate. And as you continue to progress, celebrate your small wins. Every step forward is a victory, and you should acknowledge it. Whether it's completing a task, hitting a milestone, or just sticking to your schedule for the day, take time to celebrate. This positive reinforcement will keep you motivated and remind you that the effort is worth it. But above all, understand this: overcoming procrastination is not about perfection, it's about progress. You'll slip up, you'll fall off track, but that's okay. The key is to keep getting back up. Don't let one setback derail your entire journey. As long as you keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps, you're on the right path. In conclusion, procrastination is not a life sentence. It's not a permanent condition. It's a habit, and habits can be changed. By embracing imperfection, valuing your time, setting clear goals, breaking them down into manageable tasks, practicing self-discipline, finding accountability, and celebrating your progress, you'll break free from procrastination and unlock your true potential. So, let me leave you with this challenge. Stop waiting for the right time. The right time is now. The only time you have is the present moment. Don't let procrastination steal another second from you. Take that first step today, because if you do, I promise you, your future will thank you. I want you to consider something for a moment. Every time you put something off, you're not just postponing a task. You are postponing your own growth, your own success, and the progress that you are more than capable of making. You see, procrastination isn't just a habit, it's a mindset. It's a belief that things will somehow work out if you wait long enough. And that, my friends, is one of the most dangerous beliefs you can have, because the reality is, things don't always work out by themselves. Your future is not something that happens to you. It is something you create. You need to stop waiting for the perfect moment to take action, because that perfect moment may never come. Life has a funny way of presenting opportunities, but they don't wait around forever. Opportunities are like waves. If you don't catch them when they come, they might just pass you by, and then it's gone. But the beauty of it is, when you learn to stop procrastinating and take action, you create your own opportunities. The future you're hoping for isn't out there waiting for you to find it. It's right here in the actions you take today. When we procrastinate, we also tend to look for a way to escape the discomfort of doing something challenging. You know, we avoid it because it's hard or we fear it won't go well. But here's the thing, there is no progress without discomfort. The discomfort you feel when facing a difficult task is the same discomfort that accompanies growth. Growth doesn't come from taking the easy path. It comes from tackling the hard stuff and pushing through the discomfort. If you constantly choose to avoid the uncomfortable, you'll never get to the place where the growth happens. The good news, though, is that once you start building the habit of doing what's uncomfortable, it becomes easier, and more importantly, you begin to see just how much more you are capable of. Let's be clear, procrastination is not just about delaying tasks. It's a symptom of something deeper. Procrastination often stems from fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of making mistakes. But let me ask you this, what's worse, failing or not trying at all? The true failure comes not from making mistakes, but from allowing those mistakes to stop you from moving forward. Think of all the people you admire, the successful ones. Their path to success wasn't smooth. They made mistakes, they failed, but they kept going. You've heard it before, fail your way to success. But why does this work? Because the people who fail and still succeed are the ones who realize that failure is part of the process. Every time you fail, you learn something new, something valuable, something that brings you one step closer to your goal. And yet, when we procrastinate, we deny ourselves the opportunity to learn. We keep postponing the chance to grow. So, how do we defeat procrastination and transform it into a tool for success? It all starts with a shift in mindset. You need to change the way you think about your tasks and the way you think about time. One of the most powerful ways to do this is by embracing the concept of task over time. Often, we focus on how long something will take and how we feel about it, rather than focusing on the task itself. We look at it and think, that's going to take forever, or I don't feel like doing that right now. But instead of worrying about how long it's going to take, ask yourself, what can I do right now to make progress? Focus on the task in front of you, not the time it will consume. This is also where the power of small wins comes into play. Often, the reason we procrastinate is because the goal seems overwhelming. The idea of taking on a huge task can feel like standing at the foot of a mountain, and the climb seems impossible. But what if you simply focused on taking one step at a time? Small actions add up. One small win leads to another. When you take just one step forward, you're already ahead of where you were before. That sense of momentum, no matter how small, is powerful because it propels you forward. Another key strategy is to think about the 2-minute rule. This rule is simple. If a task will take less than 2 minutes to complete, do it right now. Don't wait, don't postpone it, just do it. The reason this rule is so effective is that it stops you from overthinking and allows you to take immediate action. How often do we procrastinate on small tasks because they seem insignificant, but over time these little tasks pile up, creating a mountain of things we need to do? By adopting the 2-minute rule, you stop that mountain from forming in the first place. It's an easy way to stay on top of things and keep your momentum going. But what about the bigger tasks, the ones that require more time and energy? The ones that seem like they're impossible to get started on? The answer to that is simple. Break them down into smaller, actionable steps. Take that mountain and turn it into a series of small hills. By breaking down your tasks into smaller chunks, you make them feel less intimidating and more manageable. For example, if you have a project at work that seems overwhelming, don't sit there thinking about how much you have to do. Start by focusing on one specific aspect of the project. Maybe it's gathering information, or maybe it's creating an outline, or maybe it's reaching out to someone for input. Once you start tackling smaller, manageable tasks, the project will no longer seem insurmountable. In fact, you might even start enjoying it because you've taken the pressure off yourself to complete it all at once. This leads me to another important point. Don't focus on perfection, focus on progress. So many people procrastinate because they're afraid of doing something imperfectly. They get stuck in analysis paralysis, trying to plan and prepare until everything is just right. But here's the truth. Perfect doesn't exist. Even the most successful people make mistakes and take risks. What makes them successful isn't their perfection, but their willingness to take imperfect action. So, instead of holding off until everything is perfect, just start. Make progress no matter how small it may seem. A helpful exercise to shift your mindset is to visualize the end result. Imagine how it will feel to finish the task you're procrastinating on. Picture yourself experiencing the sense of accomplishment, the relief, the pride. Visualizing the positive outcome is a great way to motivate yourself to take that first step. When you can see the result, you realize that the task is just a means to an end, and that end is worth the effort. But what about when you simply don't feel motivated? Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, and relying on it to get things done is a losing game. Instead, create habits that support your goals, even on the days when motivation is low. Habits don't require motivation. They are actions you take regardless of how you feel. If you make it a habit to work toward your goals every day, you'll start to see progress even when you don't feel like it. The truth is, there will always be distractions. There will always be things that pull you away from what you need to do. The key to overcoming procrastination is to take control of those distractions and make the decision that your goals are more important than anything else in that moment. Practice saying no to the things that don't align with your priorities. Guard your time fiercely and protect your focus. Finally, be kind to yourself. Understand that no one is perfect and you will slip up. You will procrastinate again at times, but the key is to learn from it. Don't beat yourself up for it. Instead, recognize it, analyze why it happened, and use it as an opportunity to do better next time. Remember, progress is a journey, not a destination. It's not about never procrastinating again. It's about learning how to overcome it when it shows up, and how to prevent it from taking over your life. In closing, if you struggle with procrastination, I want you to understand that you are not alone, but I also want you to know that you have the power to break free from it. By changing your mindset, taking action, and building the right habits, you can stop procrastinating and start making real progress toward your goals. It starts with the decision to take that first step. And once you do, you'll find that every step after it becomes a little easier, a little clearer, and a little more rewarding. The future you want is waiting for you, but it's up to you to create it. The time is now. Don't wait. Take action and you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. In conclusion, overcoming procrastination is not about eliminating the habit overnight. It's about understanding that every moment you delay is a moment you lose, a moment that could have been spent moving closer to the life you desire. Procrastination is a mindset, not a permanent condition. It's born from fear, perfectionism, and